welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I am Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And today we are going to be talking about having good manners. Ooh, this is an important thing, especially for folks who live in the city or around other people a lot. Having good manners is just kind of knowing how to behave well in social situations when you're with other people. I mean, if you're at home alone, you can do whatever you want and no one will be bothered. But if you have other people you live with or you're out in the public, yes, having good manners is important.
Yes, and like you said, very, very important when you are in places where there are a lot of people, because there's already a lot of commotion and noise and just a lot going on, and it's very easy to maybe spread germs or things like that. So there are a lot of things that kind of go into the idea of having good manners, like covering your mouth or wearing a mask, or maybe not talking very loudly on your phone when everybody's around, because we're all trying to use the space and be kind to each other and have good manners.
That is very true. And of course, when we eat, we like to have good manners so other people don't feel uncomfortable because we talk with food coming out of our mouths. And it should be said that the way you behave or your manners can also mean that people look at you or think of you in certain ways. In the same way, if you always show up with mud on your face and dirt on your clothes, people will think, oh, you're a very strange kind of person. Well, if you don't have good manners, it could hurt you when you're trying to get a job or trying to make friends or things like that. So it's important to know about having good manners, and we will be talking about it for 2 days. So let's get into it. Having good manners is important. It shows that you respect others and are considerate of their feelings. Most of us know basic manners like saying please, thank you, and excuse me. There's more to good manners though. They include keeping your voice down when you're on the phone.
All right, so we are going to get into our article, Having Good Manners, and this is part 1, and we're going to be talking about it for 2 days because good manners are just that important that we have to talk about it extra long.
That is very true. We all want to have good manners, and when we say manners, we're always going to be using the S at the end of that word when we're talking about the kind of rules that we follow, what people think of as good behavior and bad behavior. But this word manner with no S, just manner, it's more like your personality, your character, the kind of person you are. So you could say, oh, she teaches young kids, so she has a very kind manner, or a nurse or someone might have a kind manner, or be careful of the new boss. He has a grumpy manner and he gets angry very easily. That's their personality or their character. But when we put the S on the end and talk about manners, this is more like the rules of good and bad behavior. Things like saying please and thank you, saying sorry when you make a mistake, and yes, chewing with your mouth closed so food doesn't fly out of your mouth. These are good manners, and I think the article will tell us that they're important.
Yeah, and as we see in the very first sentence of the article, it says, having good manners is important.
I just said that.
Yes. So it shows that you respect others and are considerate of their feelings. So this little phrase, be considerate of, it just means that you are paying attention to other people's feelings. You are noticing what maybe makes them sad or upset or happy or anything like that. And you are choosing to be kind and polite and think of them rather than only thinking of yourself. So sometimes if somebody is being a little bit selfish and not really thinking about those around them, we could could say they are being inconsiderate. They are being not considerate of the people around them. So having good manners is being considerate of the people around you.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看这个单字 manner 名词，礼貌、规矩。Kurt has good manners and is very polite. Kurt 行为举止良好且有礼貌。我们再来看一下文法重点。刚刚课文提到了 be considerate of 体贴考虑到。Considerate 是形容词，意思是为人着想的。我们来看看这个例句 My mom is always considerate of others' feelings. 我妈妈总是会考虑到别人的感受。那接着我们来回到课文当中。
All right, so let's go back to the article. It says most of us know basic manners like saying please, thank you, and excuse me. Yeah, I think most of us know that. We might call those basic manners because even young children will be taught those things. I think when kids are 5 or 6 years old, even younger maybe, their parents might say, what do you say when someone gives you something? Oh, thank you. Or if you want something, please may I have some water instead of just give me some water. So these are basic manners that most people will learn at a very young age. I think most of us know this stuff.
Yes, I think so too. But as we see in our article, there's more to good manners though. So besides just these basic please, thank you, excuse me, there are other things that we can think about that are also included in good manners when we talk about this. For example, in the next part of the article, it says, they include keeping your voice down when you're on the phone. And that's something that you see a lot in the city, or especially on maybe the MRT.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody is having a very loud conversation on the phone, it kind of disrupts everybody around them because we're all just trying to be kind of quiet and do our own thing and get to our destination. And somebody having a very loud conversation is not a fun thing.
And you also know this is good manners because you'll often see signs telling people, please don't talk loudly on your phone when you're on the bus or the MRT. But young kids might not know that. Most young kids don't have a phone anyways. All right, let's take a break and then we will be back, please. It also means covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Another one is waiting your turn to do something. Those are really key when you're in public spaces. People are less likely to get upset when you practice those manners. Okay, we are back and we are talking about good manners. Some of the things we should do is not talk loud. Of course, most of us know that. Please, thank you, excuse me, sir and madam. If you're talking to an older person, that would be nice too. Here's something else I think most of us know about now, especially after going through COVID-19 for several years. Good manners. That's good manners. It also means covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Yes, spreading your germs and your diseases to other people, especially strangers, is not good manners. That's not a nice thing to do. So be sure to cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. When we cover something, we put one thing on top of another thing, often to protect the thing that is underneath, protect the thing that is being covered. If someone says, look out, you might put your hands up to cover your head or something like that. Or I've seen sometimes when people make food, they might put something over to cover it before they eat it so flies or, dirt doesn't fall on it. And of course, we cover our clothes with clothing so that we don't feel cold when we go outside and for other reasons. So yes, you should cover your mouth, they say with your hand. They also say with your arm. Or if you want to be very careful, you could have a handkerchief.
Oh,
like this,
yes.
You can cover your mouth.
I feel like a while ago, everybody had handkerchiefs.
They're very useful, actually. I would recommend one. Yes, this is especially when you're sick or when you cough or sneeze.
Yes, and we have this word cough. Yes, and I think it's a very, one of those words that probably everybody knows. If you just that's coughing. You might be coughing because you're sick, or maybe you have allergies, or maybe you accidentally choked on your water.
Maybe it's smoky.
Or it's smoky, yes. So there are a lot of reasons that might make you cough, but that cough is just the action of kind of pressing out air that was kind of inside your lungs that you're kind of maybe choking a little bit or need to get out. So that's coughing.
That's exactly right. And yes, it is pronounced cough, like kind of C-A-W-F-F. Not Kug, as it's spelled. It's sort of spelled Kug, but it's cough, like coffee. Almost like that, the first part of the word coffee. And of course, when you cough, you might also sneeze. These are very similar things. When you sneeze, it's more in your nose and your head, but you're clearing stuff out. When you have a cold, when you feel cold, you might sneeze, or when you get too much pepper in your nose, that can make some people sneeze too. Achoo, you might say. And actually, when we're talking about good manners, in Western countries, if someone sneezes, there's some magic words you can say to show you have good manners. Here, we'll show you. Achoo!
Bless you.
Ooh, thank you. Or can you do it in German? Achoo!
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Yes, that's German for like a blessing.
Yes.
I think people used to believe that your soul would leave your body. So they're sort of saying, bless you, But it's also just a polite way of showing consideration for someone who might be sick. And hopefully they cover their mouth.
刚刚课文里提到这3个单字，第一个 cover 动词遮盖。The girl covered her face with a scarf. 这个女孩用围巾遮住了她的脸。下一个单字 cough 动词咳嗽。Bill coughed all night because of a cold. Bill 因为感冒整晚都在咳嗽。下一个单字 sneeze 动词打喷嚏。The dust made me sneeze a lot. 灰尘让我狂打喷嚏。Dust 指的就是灰尘。接着我们来回到课文当中。
Okay, back to our article. It says another one, this one meaning part of the good manners or another way to show good manners, is waiting your turn to do something. Yes. Very important. Those are really key when you're in public spaces. Those meaning those different things that we just talked about, covering your mouth, not talking loudly, waiting your turn. These are all key if you are in a public space. And this word key, no, not a house key, not a car key, not that type of key. This is an adjective that means it is something important or critical or crucial to what you are talking about. So here we are talking about good manners. So what are some key things that are kind of represent good manners? Well, all the things we just talked about. And if you are in public spaces, it's a good idea to practice this so that you kind of get along with everybody and you're not going to get dirty looks of people kind of like, why are you not being so nice? Or why are you being too loud? Or stop coughing on me. And you can just kind of go about your day.
That's right. And as we mentioned, cities are crowded, busy places. Everyone is in a rush. And so sometimes you might be able to jump in the line and go in front of other people. But that is showing bad manners, not good manners. And as the article says, as we continue, people will notice. It says people are less likely to get upset or angry when you practice those manners, right? If you break into the line or if you're coughing on everyone on the bus or something, people might get upset. They might say angry words to you, and it will just make everyone uncomfortable, and it will show that you don't really have good manners, and that's not the way you want to show the world yourself.
刚刚课文里提到这个单字 key 形容词至关重要的。Exercise is key to staying healthy. 运动对保持健康至关重要。 那么文法的部分呢，刚刚提到了这2个短语。第一个 wait one's turn， 某人依序等候。turn 在这里当名词，表示依次轮到的机会。我们来看看这个例句 ：You should wait your turn to speak。你应该依序等候发言。下一个短语 ，Somebody is likely to 加动词，某人可能做某事。Likely 是形容词，意思是很可能的。课文中这句 People are less likely to get upset， 这里的 less 加形容词是一种劣等比较级的用法，表示更不较少怎么样。我们来看看这个例句 The manager is likely to arrive late to the meeting。 经理可能开会时会迟到。接着我们来回到课文当中。
All right. Well, I think we've covered some pretty good basic manners so far today. I think most of you already know about these or are familiar with it. So tomorrow we will be back with more good manners. And by the end of it, we will be so ready. We'll be having tea with the King of England and doing everything politely. Yes, my lord. Yes. We'll be even wiping our mouths like this, like fancy people. So we'll see you then. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Having good manners is important. It shows that you respect others and are considerate of their feelings. Most of us know basic manners like saying please, thank you, and excuse me. There's more to good manners, though. They include keeping your voice down when you're on the phone. It also means covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Another one is waiting your turn to do something. Those are really key when you're in public spaces. People are less likely to get upset when you practice those manners.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 manner 名词，礼貌、规矩。Cover 动词，遮盖。Cough 动词，咳嗽。Key 形容词，至关重要的。Sneeze 动词，打喷嚏。接着我们来看文法的部分 ，be considerate of 体贴，考虑到。Dan is always considerate of his wife's needs. Dan 一向很体贴他太太的需求。Wait one's turn 某人依序等候。We should wait our turn to get on the bus. 我们应该依序等候上公车。Somebody is likely to 加动词，某人可能做某事。Chris is less likely to get the job because he doesn't have any experience. Chris 不太可能得到那份工作，因为他毫无经验。好啦，以上是今天的重点单字跟文法，那我们下次再见喽，拜拜。
That was a good workout.
That was a really good workout, but I'm really hungry now.
Well, you know, after a good workout, that means it's time to carbo load.
Carbo load?
You know, it's like when you eat a lot of carbs, rice, bread, pasta, all of the good stuff.
Oh, that sounds so good. Okay, let's go and have breakfast.
Start you off with something that I think a lot of people will know. It's called a karachi bao.
Or a crispy chicken sandwich.
Yes, or burger. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. So what makes this a breakfast is probably the egg. That kind of gives it the breakfast
That's
feel.
true. That's
yes.
true.
Okay, moving on to something I don't really understand and I don't really agree with is this sandwich. I could have just made you one.
Okay, this is where you're very wrong. The best part of all, because I hate eating crust, I didn't even ask. The breakfast place already gave me 切边. Look at how thoughtful that is. Okay, we have one last thing. Another one of my favorite.
厚片吐司. Foreigners though, please don't fret, don't worry, don't look at your toast and think, oh my goodness, what happened to it? Why is it swollen?
Why is it so fat?
It's fine, it's
Yes.
normal. It's actually thick cut toast.
Yes, and it's very unique to Taiwan. The best thing is, you might look at it and think it's just chocolate spread, but what makes it different is they put it back in the oven so that the chocolate has like this crispy,
Flaky, crusty, textury thing.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for today.
And if you have a question about how to say something in English, you can message us here.
What are we pointing at?
Doesn't matter, they'll see it.
Kiwi later.